Hi guys, welcome back to Totally Magic channel and another trick. In fact, this is more than one trick today because it's a routine that includes 3 effects in one. Now, you start by asking someone to help you and it goes something like this. So we've got a deck of cards, but have you ever noticed that when magicians ask you to pick a card, they get you to pick one blindly without seeing it? So I'm going to break those rules and keep the deck face up as I go through the cards, and you get a free choice of any card. Okay, so as I go through, just call out one of the cards. The Ace of Spades. Yeah. Now you might think that's a little bit obvious that you would go for that because it's a high ranking card, but if that's what you want, then have that. But if you want to go for another card, you can if you want. The 8 of Diamonds, 10 of Hearts, 9 of Clubs. The 9 of Clubs, you want to change your mind. Now, just be sure that that's your own decision, that you want that card, the 9, none of these, and you don't want to go back to the one you picked first of all. It's important to remember that you had an absolute free choice of any card from the pack. Now, one of the things about this is that it's strange that you went for this one, the 9 of Clubs. You see, I forgot to mention that the pack, well, not the whole pack, 51 of these cards has a red back, and you can see that quite clearly. Out of all of these cards, one card and one card only had a blue back. It is the 9 of Clubs. That is the card that is different from the other 51 cards. Now that is absolutely amazing that you chose that, but you might think it's just a coincidence that you picked the only odd coloured back card, or you might think, well, maybe I encouraged you to pick that. But let me show you another trick and we'll come back to your chosen card. Now we've got 51 red back cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these because what I want to do is I'm going to split the pack roughly in half. I'm going to put half face down and half face up like this. We're now going to mix these together. Now that is what you call a shuffle, up and down, as we go through with these like this. You can see it really is shuffled in a bit of a mess, up and down cards, and you can see that quite clearly. Now, of course, if we were to take your card, which we know has got the blue back, if we was to add this to the pack, it'd be pretty obvious where it is because it's the only blue backed card in the pack. Yeah, if we go through, we'll soon know where your card is because of the blue back. But would you be impressed if I could do a bit of magic with these cards without touching them and just cast a spell over them and do 2 things? Would that be impressive? What if I could take half the cards that are face up and magically turn them face down? You'd be impressed, wouldn't you? But even further than that, what if we took that blue back card and flipped it face up, your card? Now that is what you would call real magic. Watch. A mystical pass over the cards is all it needs. Here we go. And look at this. 51 cards face down. There you can see, just go through. That is your card that's now flipped face up. Let's look at all the other cards in the pack. You can see that no other card is face up. And that is a great trick. You're impressed. But to finish this whole thing off, let's do one final thing with your card. You see, we know that it's the odd backed card, the blue backed card here, the 9 of Clubs, and that was a free choice. You could have chosen any card. If we were to place this in the middle of the pack like this, yeah, the 9 of clubs. But what if we turn it face up and place it in there? There it is there, the blue backed card. Now what we'll do, we'll leave it sticking out like that. In fact, let's just move it round to the side. For my final performance, watch this. This is real magic. We take the blue back 9 of clubs, we cast a magical spell, 1, 2, 3, and there is your card. There's no blue back cards at all in the pack, and yours has changed to match the other 51. And that is what we call real magic. Hope you enjoyed that great little triple whammy effect. The one thing I do like about this trick is the fact that if you want, you can just perform part of it. You can skip out of this at any point. You don't have to do all 3 or 4 effects that this includes. If the person you're delivering it to hasn't got the time for you to do the whole performance, just do the first part. Or you may just want to do the part where you shuffle the cards face up, face down, and do a magical gesture and turn them all face down. So I leave it up to you to decide if you want to do all of them, but the effect itself doesn't use a normal deck. Now I know on most of these videos I always say to you we're using a regular deck of cards. This isn't, okay? This does involve a fake deck, and it may even involve you having to invest in a special deck of cards. Let's go through what we've got. You have 26 regular cards. Just grab a deck of cards and take out half the pack. It doesn't matter what cards you use, just 26 cards. The other 26 cards, if I remove one of these, because that's a special one, if you have a look here, we've got 25 cards. If I take them, flip them over, spread them, you'll see that it's one of those decks where it's double backed. Now, you will have to invest in these. You can pick these up from most magic dealers, a whole deck of 52 double backers. Okay, these have got red on both sides. If you can't find a magic dealer, you'll find a dealer on eBay, Amazon, something like that. And I think you might be paying somewhere around the region of $5 to $6 for a pack of these. Now, because you only need 26 of them, or half of them, you may want to go halves with a friend in Magic, so you can both make up this trick. Just a thought. Anyway, that's what you need for this trick. You also need an additional card. Now this is also a fake, and it is a double backer. It's red and blue. Okay, so it has a different colour on each side, red and blue. This is what you need to perform the trick. Now, this is a stack. The double backers, drop this on top, on there, turn the 26 regular face down and drop these on top like this. So when you introduce it, it looks like a regular deck. Now, if you go through the routine and follow exactly what I did, the only move that's really involved is a double lift. That's it. So here's the cards. You can spread up to half of them. Now, what I would suggest is when you start the trick, don't reveal the coloured backs. Show the faces of the cards, and you can go as far as halfway. Don't go too far, but if you go about halfway, just show them casually and talk about getting them to choose a card by looking at the cards. Okay, now one of the things I do is keep it a little bit sloppy, and I know I mention this on a lot of my videos, and that's because whenever I'm watching certain magicians, they hold a deck of cards almost like a solid brick because they're frightened of revealing something. They got white knuckles as they're gripping onto it. Make it more casual, okay? Like this. It just looks as though they're regular cards, you've got nothing to hide. So you go through, if they choose a card, like a picture card, maybe try and encourage them to pick another one, okay? What you're trying to emphasize here is that they get an absolute free choice. So let's say they went for the 2 of clubs. Just remove that. You can then flip the pack over. Now what I do is I then take their card and put it on top, ready for the next move. You can then say, you picked a card from a pack of red back cards. Well, not exactly a pack. There's 51 cards that have red backs. Now, as I'm doing this, showing these, when I gather the cards up, I'm going to get a finger break under this card here. Remember, this is the special double backer. As you square the cards up, you've now got 2 cards. Square them up like this. You can then turn this over and show the card. You can be quite free if you want to show that. Okay. But otherwise, you can flip it over onto the pack, spread this off. This is a single card. Do all of this. That convinces them that there is just one card there. Obviously, don't show the face. Their card is there. So they've now seen that they picked the only odd backed card. Now, you could end the trick at this point. It's an amazing trick. But what I like to do is to get a finger break under here, put the card back on top, turn this over and deal it off. Okay, so the regular card is goes down. You say, look, we'll come to that in a moment. Here's the special card on top still. You're then going to flip the pack face up and say, I want to do something a little bit different with these. I want to shuffle the cards. Now, as you start to push the cards across, get them to see them. But as you get near the middle, gradually put them towards yourself, because when you get to the halfway point, you take this half, remember this is the double backers, and put it down on the table. It looks like you've just put those down face down, but they're double backers. Put the other cards here. You can even spread them to convince them at this point everything is clean. Take the cards and you're just going to do a regular riffle shuffle. Okay, now one thing I will say to you is make sure that when you do the riffle shuffle, you drop a double backer first of all, then do the rest of them, and make sure a double backer lands on top. Okay, what you're basically wanting to do, you can spread that. It's a great shuffle, push them all in. The reason you're being specific about which goes first and last is because in a moment you're going to turn this over like that. So you want a back and a back to show, so it's kind of hidden. You can then talk about the mix and the shuffle being a mess. You can take the cards. Remember, this card is our fake. Get a break, pick up their card and say, look, even though the cards are in a mess, if we were to take your card, turn it over and put it in the middle. I've got 2 cards as one here. Turn it over and say, I put it on there. Now you could, if you want, I guess, turn it over and cut the cards. If you are going to do that, again, make sure you cut where there's a back showing, because you want that to end up like that. So you can do it like that if you want. It's entirely up to you. And you say to them, despite the shuffle, despite losing your card in the pack, we know where it is, because if we go through the cards, yours is the odd one out, the blue back. As you square the cards up, you're going to do some misdirection. Square these up and you're going to put these down like this by turning the pack over. So you do that, there's the odd card, the blue card. What I'm going to do is absolutely amazing now. Can you see with that hand gesture, looking at the spectator, they're going to be focused on there. You put the cards down and stand back. You're away from the pack. You do your magical pass, and when you spread the cards, you can go through proving that all the cards have turned face down. Now that in itself is a great trick, and there's many commercial routines out there that do this. Okay, this topsy-turvy kind of triumph type of effect. When you get to their card, push it forward. It looks as though you've turned their card face up as well. You can go through the others. Now the reason I'm pulling this away is because this is our double backed card here with the blue. Gather these up and put these on top. Again, make it a little bit sloppy. You can go on to the final part, pick up this, get a break, put it on top, do a double turnover, pick up these two cards and show them casually. You could have picked any card, you picked the two with a blue back. What you're going to do is turn it over, still holding a double, and what you can do is flip down about halfway, push it in down here like this, and then grip it. But what I do is I tend to bow the cards. I put a bit of pressure either side. Can you see the way the cards are bowed? That keeps this in perfect alignment. As you turn them over, they can see that their card, the 2, is a blue back. Now in the motion of turning this back over, in the pretense of pulling it out and moving it to the side, these fingers are going to push this blue card. Can you see that? I'm going to push that in, then pull out. So we've now got the red card. Pull it out, change the grip to the edge and slide this round to the side. Now you only want less than a centimetre, just so the index is held by the pack. Now you're going to flick here. Some people hold it too high, too low. You want it to be just over the size of a playing card. Yeah, so you want it about just a little bit higher than a playing card, like this. And then when you flick, it will turn over to their card. You can spread the cards. They can see there's no blue card in there, and yet the card that was blue appears to have changed colour. Now of course you could give that to them to examine, and while they're doing that you could put the pack in your pocket, go on and do a card trick with this, whatever routine, and then bring out a regular deck of cards when you add this back in the pack. So that's the sort of thing that I would do if I wanted to carry on doing some more card tricks. I hope that is okay. Take the trick deck and have a little practice, and maybe you might just want to do the triumph routine, which is the face up, face down, and turn them all face up. Or maybe you want to just do that last part where their chosen card changes colour as you flick it. I'll leave it up to you. Hope that was of interest to you. Till next time, take care, practice and enjoy.